Welcome to Stoic Mastery, where we explore the wisdom of ancient Stoic philosophers to empower you with insights for a more meaningful and fulfilling life. In this video, we'll delve into how you can strengthen your awareness through Stoicism Part 1, drawing inspiration from the timeless teachings of Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and other Stoic sages. Number 1. An important place to begin in philosophy is this: a clear perception of one's own ruling principle. Epictetus is saying that when you start learning about philosophy, the first thing you should do is understand what guides you the most. It's like finding out what matters most to you and what values you want to live by. This ruling principle is like your compass, helping you make decisions and choose your actions wisely. So, before diving into philosophy, take a good look at yourself and figure out what really drives you. Number 2. Above all, it is necessary for a person to have a true self-estimate, for we commonly think we can do more than we really can. Seneca is saying that it's really important for people to understand themselves accurately. Sometimes we think we can do a lot more than we actually can. This can lead to disappointment or even failure. So, it's essential to have a realistic view of our abilities and limitations. By knowing ourselves better, we can set more achievable goals and live a happier life. Number 3. These things don't go together. You must be a unified human being, either good or bad. You must diligently work either on your own reasoning or on things out of your control. Take great care with the inside and not what's outside, which is to say, stand with the philosopher or else with the mob. Epictetus is saying that we can't mix good and bad things together. We have to choose to be either good or bad. We should focus on improving our own thoughts and actions, which we can control, instead of worrying about things we can't control. He advises us to prioritize our inner selves and align with wise thinking, like a philosopher, rather than following the crowd blindly. Number 4. The person is free who lives as they wish, neither compelled, nor hindered, nor limited, whose choices aren't hampered, whose desires succeed, and who don't fall into what repels them, who wishes to live in deception, tripped up, mistaken, undisciplined, complaining, in a rut. No one. These are base people who don't live as they wish, and so, no base person is free. Epictetus is saying that true freedom comes from living according to your own wishes, without being forced, blocked, or restricted by others or by your own limitations. He believes that people who live without discipline, who are always complaining and stuck in bad habits, aren't truly free. Real freedom comes from living wisely and making choices that align with what we truly want. Number 5. So, concerning the things we pursue, and for which we vigorously exert ourselves, we owe this consideration: either there is nothing useful in them or most aren't useful. Some of them are superfluous while others aren't worth that much. But we don't discern this and see them as free when they cost us dearly. Seneca is saying that we should carefully consider the things we pursue and put effort into. Many of these things might not actually be useful or important in the long run. Some might even be unnecessary or not worth the effort we put into them. However, we often fail to realize this and treat them as valuable, even though they can actually cause us a lot of problems or waste our time and energy. Number 6. In public, avoid talking often and excessively about your accomplishments and dangers. For however much you enjoy recounting your dangers, it's not so pleasant for others to hear about your affairs. Epictetus advises against boasting about your achievements or discussing your problems too much in public. While you might enjoy talking about your successes or troubles, it can be unpleasant for others to listen to. It's better to be modest and considerate of others' feelings. Number 7. Self-deception, an awful disease, and eyesight, a lying sense. This quote means that Heraclitus, an ancient philosopher, believed that fooling yourself or being dishonest with yourself is a terrible problem, like a disease. He compared it to having false eyesight, which gives you wrong information about the world around you. So, He's saying it's important to be honest with yourself and not deceive yourself about things. Number 8. If a person gave away your body to some passerby, you'd be furious. Yet you hand over your mind to anyone who comes along, so they may abuse you, leaving it disturbed and troubled. Have you no shame in that? This quote means that Epictetus, an ancient philosopher, is comparing the value we place on our bodies to the importance of protecting our minds. If someone were to give away your body without your permission, you'd be angry. However, we often allow others to disturb and trouble our minds by letting their words and actions affect us. Epictetus is questioning why we allow this to happen and suggesting that we should value our mental well-being just as much as our physical well-being. Number 9. Above all, keep a close watch on this, that you are never so tied to your former acquaintances and friends that you are pulled down to their level. If you don't, you'll be ruined. You must choose whether to be loved by these friends and remain the same person, or to become a better person at the cost of those friends. If you try to have it both ways, you will neither make progress nor keep what you once had. This quote from Epictetus advises us to be cautious about the company we keep. He warns against being too attached to friends who might lead us astray or hold us back from becoming better individuals. Epictetus suggests that we must choose between staying the same to be loved by these friends or becoming a better person, even if it means losing those friends. He emphasizes that trying to please everyone will only hinder our progress and prevent us from maintaining what we truly value. Number 10. From good people you'll learn good, but if you mingle with the bad you'll destroy such soul as you had. This quote by Musonius Rufus, quoting Theognis of Megara, tells us that the company we keep influences us deeply. If we spend time with good people, we'll learn good things from them. But if we associate with bad or negative influences, it can harm our character and morality. So, it's important to surround ourselves with positive influences that uplift and inspire us. Number 11. We can remove most sins if we have a witness standing by as we are about to go wrong. The soul should have someone it can respect, by whose example it can make its inner sanctum more inviolable. Happy is the person who can improve others, not only when present, but even when in their thoughts. This quote from Seneca emphasizes the importance of having a moral compass or a guiding influence in our lives. Seneca suggests that having someone we respect, whether in person or even just in our thoughts, can help us make better decisions and resist temptation. By surrounding ourselves with virtuous individuals and striving to improve ourselves, we can avoid wrongdoing and lead a happier, more fulfilling life. Number 12. The unrestricted person who has in hand what they will in all events is free. But anyone who can be restricted, coerced, or pushed into something against what they will is a slave. Epictetus suggests that true freedom lies in having control over our own desires and actions. Someone who can stay true to their own will, regardless of external circumstances, is truly free. However, if a person can be easily influenced or manipulated by others, they are essentially enslaved to those forces. Therefore, according to Epictetus, real freedom comes from mastering our own choices and not being swayed by outside pressures. Number 13. Whenever someone has done wrong by you, immediately consider what notion of good or evil they had in doing it. For when you see that, you'll feel compassion instead of astonishment or rage. For you may yourself have the same notions of good and evil or similar ones, in which case you'll make an allowance for what they've done. But if you no longer hold the same notions, you'll be more readily gracious for their error. Marcus Aurelius advises that when someone wrongs you, try to understand their perspective and the reasons behind their actions. By considering their concept of right and wrong, you can cultivate compassion instead of anger or surprise. If you realize that you share similar views on morality, you'll be more forgiving. However, if your beliefs differ, it can help you be more understanding of their mistakes. Ultimately, this approach fosters empathy and tolerance towards others. Number 14. Whenever you find yourself blaming providence, turn it around in your mind and you will see that what has happened is in keeping with reason. Epictetus suggests that instead of blaming fate or external forces for your troubles, consider them as part of a rational order. By shifting your perspective, you can see that everything happens for a reason and fits into a larger plan. This mindset encourages acceptance and helps you find meaning in challenging situations. Number 15. Zeno would also say that nothing is more hostile to a firm grasp on knowledge than self-deception. This quote means that fooling oneself is the biggest obstacle to understanding things clearly. It emphasizes the importance of being honest with oneself and seeing things as they truly are, rather than distorting the truth or denying reality. Number 16. Were you to live 3,000 years or even a countless multiple of that, keep in mind that no one ever loses a life other than the one they are living, and no one ever lives a life other than the one they are losing. The longest and the shortest life, then, amount to the same, for the present moment lasts the same for all and is all anyone possesses. No one can lose either the past or the future, for how can someone be deprived of what's not theirs? This quote reminds us that life is experienced in the present moment. No matter how long or short our lives may be, we only ever live in the present. The past is gone, and the future hasn't happened yet. So all we truly possess is the present moment. It encourages us to focus on living fully and mindfully in the present rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Thank you for joining us on this journey of self-discovery and Stoic wisdom. If you found value in this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Mastery for more insights on living a life of virtue, resilience, and inner peace.